Welcome back to the PvP Esports Championship 2018, and we are live with the second semifinals of the day. There we are. Congratulations to all the people that have won giveaways in that break, and congratulations especially to the one winning that phone that Kyle really wanted to have, but hands off. It is actually quite fun to see the giveaway happening here.
I was one away.
You were
Didn't
so
you lose
close.
your phone?
Yeah, it's long. Let's not talk about that. It just died, all right? Like, it just shut off and then
It's because it wasn't
work.
a Razer phone.
That's true.
There you go. All right, we're in the middle of our second semifinals. Going into this, it's Secret versus PSG.LGD. We thought, ooh, super close. You know, it's gonna be a hype match. And to be fair, it was a hype draft. Let's go to that, because the draft I feel like is where so far it's been happening, and the execution has been flawless, especially this first game. So we're going to focus on the draft of game number 2. Grant, starting off with you. You already believed in Secret's draft. You thought it was going to be the better one going into the game. What kind of changes do you want to see from PSG.LGD?
I think maybe, honestly, you might just get rid of the Crystal Maiden. I think it enables all 3 lanes. He's the only one who just plays it insanely well. I think you get rid of him, it forces them to play something completely different. Maybe, you know, it tilts him, makes him pick Batrider for Zai. I don't know. You don't know.
What
are you laughing at?
I don't want to see them.
Yeah,
I don't want to see them pick Arc Warden again, because what? That was not a shot at Zai's Batrider?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't really like the way they picked around the Arc Warden. I don't think it actually sets it up very well, just because they didn't have enough heroes that do stuff, as the common phrase is in the Dota scene. I think that there's just like a little bit too much passive angle on these heroes, and there was too reliant on being able to win the laning phase. And then once that laning phase went wrong, it was really tough for them to be able to do anything around 15 minutes.
Yep,
So.
I agree. I feel like all 3 cores kind of like the play around other cores, and there was no real focal point, like nothing that could actually start a fight. They were banking on like a Rupture or a Flux to actually get things started, and that's just not a realistic way to start fights, especially when you consider how squishy their 2 supports were. I think Secret's decision to try lane was excellent, because it's Wisp Lion, you know, 2 very level dependent supports. They need level 6. They're not going to get that in a tri lane, especially if you're losing the lane and you deal with that, you know, 25% deny XP.
Yeah, and I think the long range, right? Crystal Nova plus Fisher, all of a sudden you're all at 50% HP. You didn't even see the heroes coming at you, and all of a sudden, I mean, you're just the most useless hero on the map if you're Lion. I mean, laning phase, he has nothing.
Yep.
Yesterday, first game of the live event, we had Secret versus Fnatic. It didn't look too hot, but somehow something changed, and Secret started to become very dominant. Let's find out more about how Secret went into the tournament.
My name is Yeknaijan. My game ID is Mid1, and I play for Team Secret. EU will be very competitive as always, because there are many good teams right there, but sometimes the pubs are ass. That's all I know, which is why maybe the scene is not that supreme yet, but it still never changed. Like, Europe is still very competitive, and there will be more European teams in more tournaments. My expectation would be, it would be like we get better and know each other as a team, because it's pretty new. Like, we got 2 new players. I just expect us to learn to move better in the game and knowing each other more. That's all I expect, nothing else. I don't know what's unique in our team, but I would just say it's a secret.
They want to better themselves, and what makes them unique is a secret. I did not see that one coming, Kyle.
Me neither.
Right, because what do you think makes them secret? What made them be so flawless in that first game of the series?
Oh, I would give a lot of credit to the draft, especially after seeing it play out, because it's not the draft scene. It makes it seem like it's just the 5 heroes, but it's also how are they laning, and specifically how are they itemizing. I think that this past TI really cemented the importance of buying the right items, not just for your hero, but also to complement your teammates. And I stress again, like, these heroes that can afford to just buy sustain items are just necessary. We saw actually in that dismal Batrider game that Zai played, he did end up going Crimson Guard Pipe, and I feel like
it helped a lot.
It did. It made him a useful hero, even though he had such a terrible start to his game. So I think that's going to be the new meta for pretty much all this year, because straight up, damage reduction is incredibly powerful, especially when you're playing against heroes with static damage numbers, notably Necrophos, Bloodseeker, Arc Warden, like they're all spell damage, right? So if you can just tank through it, everyone stays alive, especially when you're walking around with the Satyr, Type regen, Helm of the Dominator regen. We saw Puppy survive, like, juking, felt like he was playing a Bound back in the days of StarCraft custom games, just avoiding death.
So everything but mech.
Yeah,
everything but mech.
So
sustain item, super good, but mech is still a bad item.
It's a burst heal. You need sustain.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, that's just kind of, I'm more emphasizing the point, like, that's the position mech is in, right? If that is the way that this meta should kind of lead you to.
Does that also mean that we're looking at more sustained heroes getting back into it? I mean, we already see the Dazzle, I guess.
Yeah, where's Omni Knight?
Where's Omni Knight? That's the real question.
That hero is really bad now, though.
10 seconds remaining.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, what do? You go to a lane, you're level 1. Like, yeah, it's
back.
actually such a bad hero.
Yeah. It's just, the game is so complex now. You got to think about objectives, creep waves, team fights, lanes, survivability. Like, it's just talents. I mean, we were talking about Weaver, right? I mean, how many heroes have a 35% XP talent level 10? Answer's 1. What do you know is the first 2 viable hero?
Every game,
Yeah. It's the same with Venno when he had 40% XP. Like, I'm really looking forward to this next patch because I think we're going to see a lot of items change, a lot of talents changed, and I think that's one of the things I've really been looking forward to ever since talents were actually even added to the game, was that it's now so much easier to tweak the minutia of this beautiful game versus needing to revamp it all the time to keep it interesting. Because honestly, you change all these talents, like the game's new.
Yeah. The minutia. Agreed.
PSG.
Do you not know that word?
No, I know the word.
I do not know that word.
You can explain it for us, Kyle.
Yes, please.
Oh, it's just the little details.
The
okay.
minutia.
Yeah, because min is like
Isn't it
some
minute?
Latin root for tiny, like tiny, you know?
Am I wrong? I thought it was just minute, but...
Our bans are going to be very different here. No Draw Ranger or Phantom Lancer banned out. We are going to have the Wisp taken out of the pool.
That's the adjective, Grant.
10 seconds remaining.
So, who are the first pick heroes still left that we've been seeing this tournament?
Well, we saw Secret pick up Morphling first earlier, as in previous game, and we had the IO and the Necro coming out, of which the Necro is of course still in for PSG.LGD.
I think we might see a first pick Terrorblade from PSG.LGD. I know they like doing that. They like falling back on it. We'll see if they just...
I mean, it's been proven, right? I mean, when in doubt, just pick on a Terrorblade.
Yeah, win in 20 minutes, win in 80 minutes, he just wins with the hero.
We'll see what Secret does. They do ban out the CM and the Shaker.
And the Shaker.
Yep.
I think that's important.
But Drow is left in the pool. Wyvern as well.
10 seconds.
Yeah, we had a first phase ban on the PL in the previous game as well. That is still in. And the Nyx Assassin.
Gets through now. Wonder Wyvern wasn't touched at all last game. Yeah, just completely let through.
I feel like it was just both teams getting more of their preferred comfort level power heroes. Like, there's a huge pool of tier 1 heroes, I would say. And as you can see, like, it's just a different game state, right? Because there's no Wisp, no Silencer, and no CM Shaker, Wyvern's power level in this game increases drastically. Another thing, cool change that we've now become accustomed to, but the 3 opening bans, I think. You remember when it was only just 2? Those are dark days.
Wyvern works really well against drone lineups and works really well with drone lineups as well, because you get actually so many right clicks in. So the extra aura really helping you out. The one thing I kind of want to bring up was the fact that Silencer and Dream Protector were 2 supports that were pretty favored not so long ago, and I feel like at this tournament they dropped off quite significantly.
Silence? It's like first banned every game. Tree End, I'll agree.
I don't know, I agree. It feels like some teams think Tree is one of the worst supports in the game. Other teams just think it's first pick. It's definitely, that's like one of the heroes that it feels super volatile. Like, you don't know, maybe Puppy just hates it, but they like it.
PSG.LGD banned it previous game.
Yeah. I think teams have different concepts of how to even skill it. There is the Nyx that you brought up, but I see some teams like maxing the tree armor, which I really don't like. When I watch OG play it, especially when Mad was playing as the core, there's a lot of points in Leech Seed, and then utilizing the invids, because the Leech is actually incredible amounts of healing, and it's not just on the one target, it's AoE, it also heals your creep wave, which is something very underrated, significantly helps with the pushing speed.
Sustain, as you said.
Yeah, exactly.
And this Nyx, they've always been one of the only teams who
5
actually first
seconds
picks it.
remaining.
Like, what makes it such a strong hero for them? Like, I try to rack my brain, but I just don't really see it that much.
It's one of those heroes, it feels like you're either just in complete control of the game, you get to just have a nice peaceful time forcing the support to walk around with a windlace and 15 sentries, and sometimes you're just like, well, I don't know what to do. Ooh, a Bane too. That was banned second phase in the previous game by Secret.
And I mean, Nyx is one of those heroes, though. You just get a stout shield, a couple of mangoes. He's like a little ogre at level 1. You can't really do anything. He has like the highest base regen in the game.
I wouldn't mind seeing Secret just go with the Drow here.
Team Secret,
bang.
turn to
I mean,
bat. Drow
yeah.
Ranger.
We haven't seen it much this tournament. We've seen like once or twice,
We've
but I
seen
mean,
it banned a lot, though.
yeah. I mean, we're used in NA, right? EG and forward, they will first ban any time you do it,
Yep.
and then you go to like other regions and they just don't favor it that much.
PSG.LGD
especially when you're first pick,
turn to
and you
bat.
already have like a
Team
complementary
Secret, turn to bat.
support in the Wyvern. Like, I'd say that's the go-to Drow combo. And now you immediately go into your band, and it's going to be PL Brood. And there you go. I think you've already seen PSG's, you saw their Arc Warden, and I wouldn't be afraid of it. And that's what I would say is the other like go-to hard Drow counter. It's PL Brood like an Arc Warden. So
10 seconds
I wouldn't be
remaining.
surprised to see LGD Chalice run that offlane Lycan that they like to pull off
5
every once in a
seconds
while.
remaining.
Yeah.
So they just pick these supports just go for the laning
PSG.LGD's
phase?
turn to bat.
Because I see a lot of Draw Ranger lineups, and I feel like when you have like significantly stronger team fight, you have a bigger advantage. But these supports don't really give you that. So instead,
At all, yeah.
it seems like an emphasis on just winning the first 10 minutes.
I mean, it feels like with Drow, all you have to do is survive, right? In an even, like, the game will look even. You'll have like a 500 gold lead, but then all of a sudden everyone's online with the bonus 50 damage, and you can just, any kill becomes a tower.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we've talked about the importance of farming creeps. Like, Drow lineups just do that so easily. As time progresses, you're just getting more out of the map because you clear it faster. And eventually you get Roche and one fight, and suddenly you're killing a tier 3.
And Draw Ranger's like one of those weird heroes that like you lose lane but win the game, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm
10
still not
seconds
sure like
remaining.
why is LGD focusing so much on that aspect? And instead of leaving like a
5
supports
seconds
more
remaining.
open, you can get like the big team fighting supports like Phoenix and those kind of heroes.
I mean, again, goes back to killing creep waves. I'm always afraid when I see an opener that can't kill creeps.
No, yeah,
Like, it just feels bad. We saw that in the previous series, Fnatic versus Admiral, where you had the 3-4-5 of Admiral, Kunkka, Undying, and I don't remember the other hero, but they couldn't kill any creeps.
no.
Like, they're just forced to run around and pray they find activity.
Which is, yeah, exactly what you have right here. I think Tap's completely right. They just want to dominate the laning phase. If they don't, I mean, we're only 2 picks in, and we're saying, like, if they somehow don't win this laning phase, I mean, these 2 supports fall so far off.
Yep.
It's just weird to have like both your supports focused on that aspect, because I feel like most teams are trying to give, like, they'll pick up one really strong laning phase support, but they'll always couple that with a strong team fighting support. And it seems like PSG.LGD is one of the few teams who just
they're-
double down on this.
They're already down to 20 seconds reserve.
I was going to say Pugna, but you have the
Into
silence
Drow,
from the Drow
yeah.
Ranger, right?
Like-
So that doesn't feel good. Like, that's a good creep clearing, like, offensive support that also couples with these supports and trying to win the lanes.
Yep.
But you're going into a Drow Ranger.
Yeah, Gust is just super strong in this game, and
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I feel like you get a BKB
5
on your Drow
seconds
Ranger,
remaining.
and all of a sudden, what do you actually fear?
PSG.LGD.
Love that. Love that kick. We just talked about Drow being weak in the laning phase.
There you go.
Take the best laner, arguably in Dota 2. Excellent against Bane, Nyx, and Pugna. They can't really deal with the Tombstone very well, and he's just a bully. Great synergy with the Wyvern. We've talked about heroes that can kind of overlap on top of the Winner's Curse without losing any damage. You drop the Tomb, all of a sudden
10
there's 2 zombies on every
seconds
hero caught. Feels bad, man.
This man does not care about your
5
blast.
seconds
He
remaining.
just decays you and he gets blasted, he just keeps running at you.
Yep. Pugna's already a super low HP hero. You start getting whacked like a quarter of your HP. Love this tri-hero opener from Secret. Looks very powerful.
I mean, it honestly feels like Lycan might still, well, they're going to go Luna. Okay, tank that. Interesting.
What kind of problems does that solve, the Luna? Wave clear?
It gives you the ability to take tempo, I've seen LGD do this against Drow lineups in the past. It's just one of those ways, like you can get ahead and then stay ahead. We were talking about, you know, Drow lineups and their ability to clear creep waves and then jungle incredibly quickly. Luna is a map eater. You know, you sweep the map clean. You don't really need any more wave clear because if your Luna's ahead, he can just take the map, like no problem. They don't have anything to buff him, which traditionally PSG.LGD is a big fan of. They run IO Luna, Ogre Luna, but that's not here this time, so they're really going to be reliant on an excellent laning phase.
Yep, I do like it. You give Ame a hero that if he somehow does come out of the laning phase, farms a lane, farms the entire jungle, takes over the game, and can just win it by himself. So even though maybe it doesn't match up that well, he can still do it.
What do you think about TA here? Only reason I... oh, you're right. See it. Is there any other like big physical damage mid or off lane heroes that couple well with Drow that are left? Weaver's already gone, TA's gone.
You can always Mirana when you're in a hard place, but I think Nyx makes that a little more frustrating to play.
Sure.
There's no Weaver. You don't really want to Lina here either. Probably just your standard Agi here. I wouldn't mind a Clinks, but that's a bit awkward. I think you want something maybe with a bit of a built-in disable, which is why I'd probably lean towards Mirana.
You could do like the DK style.
Yeah,
take
DK
advantage of the range form, and you're a tanky hero that plays the front line against Luna.
A BKB hero with the stun that also utilizes the Drow Aura, I think that's actually a perfect pick here. I like that, Cat.
There's also the Visage. I like triple check my bans because I keep missing bans.
Oh, hey. Yep, I love
Pugna
that.
hates that hero too.
Yep.
It's a hero with a stun.
Dude,
doesn't need BKB.
Nyx, Pugna, and Bane hate that hero. It's also very good against the Luna because you can absorb all like the Eclipse no problem. And once again, PSG.LGD, they're a very they have a pool of damage. And they're going to use that at the start of the fight. If it doesn't kill anybody, you're in trouble. Visage is, again, the HOD hero, the sustain hero. If you walk in, it doesn't matter how bad his game is, right? He'll have Drow Aura, HOD, and a pipe at some point. Think about how if these 5 heroes from each side walk into each other, like, Secret's just going to mop the floor with them because of just raw damage differential.
And as you said, I mean, Visage, though, you definitely have to win that lane if you're PSG.LGD, right? Because he is going to come online eventually, even though he might not have any items. Once he gets levels, he just becomes this hero like we have to deal with, even though he's honestly not that farmed.
10 seconds remaining.
Enigma banned out.
I think if you're LGD here, I would be very surprised if they went for anything other than Lycan in their last pick. I feel like it's the only thing that can salvage their draft. They need damage, they need objective control, they need mid-game. Again, this HOD item is so strong right now.
Man.
For Secret, you still have a bunch of options, I would say. That could be Zai's Visage, it could be a mid-1 Visage. I wouldn't mind a core Wyvern in this game, to
That's
be
what
honest.
I was saying, could be Zai's as well.
Yeah.
Used to play it, one of the few, him and Ice.
Team Secrets, turn to
They're going to ban out the Storm.
Yep. Makes sense. You're playing against LGD. You don't want to play against another comfort hero.
Especially they don't have the best lockdown, right? You do have the Gust, but if somehow he just dodges it with the Zip, all of a sudden this Drow is going to be completely useless. Storm's just going to cover him up.
And it is one of the big downsides of Visage. Like, this hero, he comes on like really quickly, level 6, like he's a monster, but before that you put no pressure on the lane whatsoever. So these mids that can just totally freeform and take advantage of that, like Storm.
Oh man, this Drow or Lina middle, like who do you pick now? Like, do you have to...
It could also still be an off-lane Lina. I think it's more likely because it's the same lane they had in the past. We have Wyvern Lina. You just spam spells on the Luna, much like a Terrorblade, incredibly low base HP. You just spam spells. And
5 seconds remaining.
What do you do?
And Lina's going to get a lot of damage on them too. Oh, that was...
I
mean, they needed really big team fight.
Is that really team fight though? Like it's not bad, but to me, you have Eclipse and you have Boat.
Yeah.
And if you haven't decisively won the fight after those cooldowns are used,
you're in a lot of trouble.
You're fighting. You're Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai running up the hill into a Gatling gun.
Is there any hero that was going to give you more team fight than Kunkka though? I don't think so.
I think it goes back to the opening, right? This Nyx Bane gives them absolutely like 0 team fight, 0 wave clear. They were forced to pick these cores that have to make up for that.
Yep.
And now you're stuck with the, you know, the Kunkka Pugna.
You guys don't seem very convinced there will be a third game. I gotta be honest here.
Nah.
I mean, okay, he's not. I mean, there's always the human aspect of the game, right? Maybe someone on Secret just all of a sudden, like, they just get, something goes on in their head and they're like, uh-oh, I can't do this. And you never know, the human aspect could take over, but I think Secret won this draft, like 99%.
I mean, I always think, first off, I don't bet against Drow anymore. It's the best hero in Dota right now, I feel. And if you're going to beat it, I think you need some way to abuse Roche. And I don't really think LGD can, which means eventually the Drow lineup gets it, which means all your tier 2s are dead, and then it's one fight away from a win. So,
Got final words?
Looks rough.
All right, well, with that being said, it is time to head over to a commentary team of OD Pixel and Fog for game number 2.
Thank you, Shiva, indeed. Game 2 now between PSG.LGD and Secret. Secret getting themselves a very strong and terrifying Drow strat, as the panel have said. And PSG.LGD, I feel like Grant was on to something here. They sort of tried to react with those last few picks, getting a bit of wave clear, but is it really going to be enough against the sort of pace that Secret can play and push at?
The thing is, it's a Drow strat, but it's also... Drow strat we've seen a lot, but it's a Drow and it's a Visage.
Oh, it's a Zai Visage as well.
Oh, okay, so they are putting in the off. Interesting.
I'm trying. Have we seen Zai play Visage in ever? We probably have. I feel like
he definitely played it on EG, right?
He must have done. I feel like there must have been a game.
Right? There had to have been games where he played it.
He must have done. I'm
like,
sure he has.
definitely played some Drow, and Zai definitely played some Visage with him and stuff, right?
It's just one of those things where it doesn't normally get through the draft. You see one of the other heroes, and the other one's just taken away from you. But Secret getting their hands on both.
I'm definitely concerned here for LGD. I think it's going to be a lot up to them. If they want to be able to try to win this one, I think it's really heavy on them to be able to contest that Roshan. They have to have good team fights come out between the Kunkka and the Luna and the Pugna.
Because
those three are so
it's
important.
a Luna. This hero is a hard hero to make work. Not a lot of people like to run the Luna, and especially not when you're against a lineup that can just shove lane so hard at you, sort of take away your area of the map, this sort of safe space that you rely on a lot as a Luna to sort of get ahead and farm. That's going to be so hard to make happen.
And they don't really have that much deep push. Like, look at Secret. When they get the ball rolling, when all 5 of them are grouped up, let's say, when they've got their, maybe when, whatever, like the Medallion, the Dominator on the Visage, right? The Drow's got an item. And you look at LGD, how are they going to actually stop this push? Like, they've got the Kunkka cleave. If he walks up to try to cleave, he's going to die. Pugna is the only one to actually be able to walk up and actually blast a wave. And that's still not the greatest. It's the only thing they actually have to be able to push them off of those towers if Secret actually groups up.
Yeah, I think it's what you said. They've got to find some way to enable this Luna in the fights and as early as possible when it comes down to directions the way Secret play. And I think a lot of that, I want to see the Nyx Assassin sort of get at that 6 as quick as they can. You know, in terms of sort of making those versus really punishing heroes like the Lina. You know, in hero, fairly squishy. If that Nyx Assassin can sort of out-position mid-1, there's going to be a lot of times where mid-1 can be taken out of the fight very quickly.
Speaking of mid-1.
Yeah, good play here from Maybe. Good harassment. Mid-1 pretty low here at the start. Still got the South. So we'll be able to pop it, get himself back up to full. CS-wise as well, mid-1 holding the lead at the moment against Kunkka.
Yeah, the thing is too, Secret, they have really strong lanes as well coming in between this because they've got a Lina in the mid lane with a Drower. They've got the Visage Wyvern top with both ranged heroes with that Drower. It just puts a lot of pressure onto LGD.
It really is. This top lane not a nice lane at all for Arme to farm it. It's getting something out of it at the moment. 5 for 3.
I mean, it's
Zai with the lead, it's only going to get greater once that Drower starts setting up.
Yeah, and it's like the weakness of Visage is 1 through 5. So it's like if you're already having a pretty decent start in the laning phase, you're very, very happy. Because once you hit that 6, you're an absolute beast.
And in terms of sort of
has one last hit bottom. Just unable to really get anything versus that Drow Ranger plus Undying.
And he is sort of one of at least the wave clears and deep pushes that you do have. If he's not getting sort of that start, getting those levels, you're actually going to have the skill points in the blast enough to sort of help hold back these pushes.
Yeah, and how do you actually really help? Ooh, nice sleep there. Maybe saving Ame's life here. Like, what does FY want to be able to do? I think this is the best play that FY can actually do to secure the lane for Chalice, because what does a Nyx do versus an Undying? You get the clay, you get hit, you are very sad.
Yeah, that sort of matchup is definitely one where he can't play, but at the same time, it's hard for FY to make those movements around the map as this, level 1 Nyx Assassin at the moment. You leave this lane, suddenly Chalice he's going to get even less than nothing.
He doesn't care, he's just standing right there. Chalice is going to get some last hits, but look at this. All 3 lanes in favor of Secret at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit like 20 for 6 against the 14%. This matchup, right, sometimes what you do see the Kunkka coming ahead, but this is the fact that there's that Drow as well just makes this very hard for the Kunkka, or do you think the Kunkka doesn't normally have a bad matchup against him?
It's not a great matchup. I mean, it's not a horrible one, because Kunkka always you have the damage coming in, but every time you walk up, you're going to get hit by like a light strike and a snook. You actually get harassed down way too much. So you're going to get last hits, but you're going to get out-leveled because of the denies. Yeah. And you're going to have to spend much more money on that regen.
I want to say, when that Kunkka gets 6, I think that's the time where you got to send for the next assassin.
They got to rotate.
You get an X mark, you get that kill on mid 1. That's sort of the point where you can start to swing that lane back in your favor. When you get 6, get that boat online. Chalice just getting heavily harassed out of this lane by Puppey. As Puppey is just making all the safe space in the world for Nisha to farm away on his Drow Ranger.
If you've got a Drow Ranger that's not getting pressured in the laning phase, it's already looking great for Secret. Like, when we see these Drow strats sometimes, and you see, Ame is sleep dodge again. Very nice there by X-Nova.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, when you see these Drow lineups, and sometimes we do see it's like, oh my god, the Drow is just getting destroyed, right? Like, dies like 3 or 4 times, and still,
and then he comes back
still doesn't matter, right?
He gets his 6, he goes jungle, he's good.
Yeah, this is a game where he's already having a perfect, flawless start.
We are starting to see some movements as Nyx Assassin is hovering around that middle lane, FY.
I think he's trying to do that movement that you were just talking about. Wait for that 6 to get on the Kunkka. He's getting close there, and it is nighttime. So just keeping tabs, snapping that experience too. Just being annoying.
I think, sort of with this movement as well, mid 1 coming away from that middle lane, knows that this is the point of the game where PSG.LGD are going to look to make that play. So mid 1's just sort of reading them. He knows this is sort of a position where we as a team could be penalized, and he plays it safe. Bottom lane, Puppey is getting gone upon. He's got the stick charges. They have the damage. He'll turn around, get the decay off. He's trying to juke him out. Back up to the high ground, but he will fall as PSG.LGD do manage to claim first blood.
That's very nice. That's the arcane boots. I mean, that was so needed for Chalice there, actually. FY. Shoot.
There's going to be a couple of... He's got the arcane rune. Light Strike won't quite catch. And Spike Carapace is out, keeping FY safe. He's able to heal back up as well. Yeah, this mid lane, level 6 is there now for maybe.
There's that ward that was placed by Puppey down bottom though, so it does see the Nyx at least playing in the river for a moment. Puppey's actually just going to TP mid, fill the bottle up for the Lina. Level 4 on Visage. I mean, yeah, it's a Visage and a Drow that are not getting slowed down in the laning phase. Zai does get the kill with the Soul Assumption this time. Getting low.
He does. Arme's going to find the return kill. So sure, you killed the Bane, but you do give away a kill to Arme. On bottom as well, FY keeping Puppey back with the stun, able to grab himself a regen rune. So all in all, even though the early CS was going Secret's way, LGD not falling terribly behind in this first 6 minutes. They're only less than 1k behind. Bottom lane Chalice is getting continued to punish, and we see little things like that. He's out of it, but still, the fact that he sort of gets involved in that kill on Puppey. Remember how slow of a start he had in terms of farm. He's actually 4th highest on the CS. So even though Secret were able to have very good lanes across the board, PSG.LGD are really starting to level it back out. Which is not an easy thing to do.
It is a Visage in laning phase. Like, this is where Visage is supposed to get slowed down. Yeah, it's like the Visage is tied net worth with a Pugnut pre-6. Once that 6 comes out, it's going to be... They might actually have to just bring multiple heroes up there to protect Ame to be able to get farm on the Luna, or just move the Luna elsewhere. You do see some rotation right now coming. The Nyx moving toward top.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see what FY can find. It's not going to be easy. How close is Zai to that 60 spot? Level 5 at the moment.
I think Yapsu's been taking a good amount. I mean, he's level 4.5, so Zai should still be a bit away from that 6.
Can FY do something here? They do also have the brain wraparound as well. They're trying to make a go on to Zai. X-Nova there too. FY popping the spike carapace, but Secret, they're not going to hit into it. They won't get stunned. They do have a Nightmare. Arme is moving into position. He has the Eclipse ready to go. But there's mid one. Perfect time to come in with the rotation. As straight away, the Laguna Blade is there, taking Arme out of the fight. X-Nova will fall as well. As mid one continued to have an excellent game. Had an excellent lane mid. Played very careful, made sure that he wasn't punished by any movements by LGD, and then makes rotations like that. Reads the map, knows that Arme is going to go for a play as soon as he hits that 6. Mid one's there with the punish.
Oh, the zombie showing where Chalice is, and we'll be able to get cleaned up by Nisha. Level 7 now, and I believe that's pretty much the Visage. Also going to be 6-2 in a second, so this is that big timing. At least for the first big timing is level 6 Visage, level 6 Drow Ranger.
Yeah, this is getting to the point where, yeah, if you play this wrong as LGD, you start to lose your map. Secret's going to start taking towers. We'll see what PSG.LGD can offer in terms of trying to hold them off. As we've already mentioned, their D-push, not too great at all. And their lineup, even at this time, very hard to sort of play with. It's very hard to sort of get this Luna in a position, where he can actually fight, as we've just seen. Arme takes a wrong step forward, there's going to be massive amounts of bursts coming out from Secret's lineup. This Luna will literally fall over at the front of the fight.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to protect Arme. Like, the Rum is going to be the best thing to do that. They might even have to use, like, Pugna Drain to protect them in a lot of ways, but I think right now, them getting their levels up, trying to get any type of pressure on towers is super important, so that I feel like the big critical bomb is really just that Roche timing, right? Like, as when Secret gets their Dominator, they get a medallion or something, they go walk into that pit, and it's going to be all up to, can LGD actually stop them? If not, they're going to have such a hard time fighting a Drow lineup with an Aegis, with what they've got. And Secret's, I mean, they have a Drow lineup, which is amazing at killing Roche, but they also have an Undying too, so with the Flesh Golems out, like, everything is just going to make that Roche die so quick.
Mid one straight away, burst down challenge. They do have the boat coming in onto mid one. They have the combo, but immediately maybe he's just TPing himself out of there. Doesn't want to stick around for the fight. X-Nova, he'll go for a quick sort of panic smoke and a TP, but he will not escape as mid one, a light strike array is there to stop the TP channeling as he gets himself a double kill on that bottom lane.
They got a tower, but
I mean, that's kind of impressive. You're against a Drow strat, you take the tower first, using the power, of course, off the Pugna. But they're losing heroes for it, and despite being the first to take a tier 1 tower, they still sit 10 minutes in, 3k behind.
As Secret, I think they're going to get, okay, only 3 bounty runes. FY's racing for it. The familiar. Okay, FY gets it. That was close. So Dominator's going to be finished up very soon on Zai. This tower should be cleaned up very soon from Secret, as well as that mid tower. So that map control definitely going to be in Secret's favor very soon. Ame already has to just go to the jungle. Can't actually show his face. He will die. If he shows his face in most of the lanes, he will die. Like 848 HP. Far too squishy right now.
On the bottom half of that net worth as well. Just getting the Brand boost into the Mask of Madness, or at least into the Mask, so he has that sustain in the jungle. But if Secret are somehow able to get inside that jungle, they'll kill Arme every single time.
Chalice has to play this way too. Chalice has to try to force any type of towers that he can. He can't actually be there. See, that's the other thing is too. We were talking about, like, they don't really have that D push, and it's the Pugna who's the D push, but Pugna doesn't want to be the D pusher.
No,
Pugna wants to be the pusher.
He wants to be the other side of the map. He doesn't want to be defending. Yeah, he wants to be elsewhere.
So and now there's the catapult up. They've got the dominated catapult, and Drow Aura has been popped. It does wear off right now, but I think we get one familiar.
Getting that Tome out onto FY, trying to push him towards that 6 on the Nyx Assassin, so they can sort of do a better job at sort of matching the movements of Secret, keeping that vision and information on mid-one's whereabouts. Try and turn around any sort of attempt that he looks to make, as mid-one, 11 minutes in, has the Yules. So ready for that catch. Zame trying to show his face up here at the top lane. Let's try and make an attempt on the... It looks like he did get it, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to just wait for a resummon. Yeah. But he did lose the familiar anyway. Zai now will get collapsed on.
A little too close to tower. FY's in, and there's the setup. Arme will be able to find himself the kill. Can they get themselves more familiars as well? It's up into the trees. It's out of there.
They got one.
They get one, though.
Okay. So heavy rotation, but that's... In this game, you know, the last time we were talking about heavy rotations really punished LGD. In this game, they have to. They have to be able to secure their Luna to get some farm. They can't actually have Ame just sit in the jungle in this game just yet. It's too early on. They're going to get their lanes pressured way too hard by what Secret has. yeah, Zai overstepping his bounds. He felt, I guess he felt like a little bit safer because he saw his teammates really close. Like the Drow Ranger was right next to him and stuff too, but didn't expect that many rotations. As YapzOr doing YapzOr things.
1500 towards his Blink Dagger. Oh.
Blink in this game, he can set up so well for his team to get the Lina stun on the combo and as well as the familiar stuns afterwards. He is their big team fighter on the side of Secret to be able to set up for everything. On top of that, Undying too.
That's good, man. This is there now for Arme. Can start to speed that far up. Bottom lane, YapzOr to disrupt the combo there with the Winter's Curse. Still gets dragged back a little bit. The boat's coming crashing down, but with the Arctic Burn, YapzOr can get himself across the trees. He is sort of trapped in his little den.
I mean,
but it looks like they're not going to quite see him. He's still hidden towards the side of it. And they won't hunt any deeper, so YapzOr will be fine for now. Just have to wait for the Arctic Burn to come back off, or at least the TP to be ready. So they've been stuck there for a little bit of time. Top lane, Nisha and Puppey get themselves into the jungle and catch out X-Nova.
And it's the Ancients. Those are supposed to be Ame's. They're all taken.
Why? Doesn't find the stun. Whiffs it.
And now he's silenced.
Arme does try and look for the turnaround onto Puppey, but the wraparound's there from Zai with the Hellbear Smasher. As they'll get Arme, they'll get FY. Chalice in trouble as well, as the stun from Zai holds down the Pugna. As 3 kills for Secret.
Now they go Roche. That's their timing. And there's no Eclipse. The team fight has been just made much weaker on the side of LGD. This is free for Secret here. And the space, YapzOr bottom. He actually, even though he got his TP cancelled by the X pullback, it was actually great. They spent so much time. Yeah, and that was an Ancient stack too. That was their Secret cleaned it up, and 8k advantage with an Aegis already versus this team of LGD. Oh, that is looking extremely difficult for them.
It really is. How do PSG.LGD deal with this one? They had a tough time in game 1, a very quick and convincing victory for Secret. And this game too, it's looking like an absolute repeat in terms of the speed that Secret is getting ahead by.
And they've got deep aggressive wards, and we saw there too. It's like Amek runs in with the Eclipse, but there's a Visage on the other team with the Dominator. So there's the birds, there's the Dominator creep too.
And FY again missing these stuns, and now could be in trouble. They do have backup though. And indeed mid one will retreat, doesn't look for the return players. Kunkka and Bane are in the neighborhood. Bottom lane Arme. Yeah, push that wave up pretty far. There is Chalice there as well. Goes for a quick blast onto Puppey. Puppey trying to soar up himself back to full health, and he'll be fine. Cold Embrace is there as well from YapzOr. As Secret, they'll take down Arme. They're trying to find more. The boat coming in onto Puppey. He will die to the ward as Puppey falls.
Oh, Nisha's in.
He's thinking about trying to set up
Creeps on him though.
Did they spot him? They have, but the X-Mark may have stepped forward a little bit too far. Mid one though has the burst on the side to find FY.
Oh, he got the gust before the torrent.
Disrupting the combo, and now he can turn, get the slow out onto maybe has the Shadow Amulet. Light Strike Array coming down with the AoE. Winter's Curse as well from YapzOr, trying to hold them in place. As Secret, they want to still take this fight. Chalice will get himself back behind the tier 1 tower. Maybe turns torrent combo onto YapzOr. YapzOr on the retreat.
Ooh, bit of a mistake there coming out from Secret. They used the Winter's Curse and the Light Strike right at the same time, so they weren't actually getting any combo. But Zai, he's taking the space that they're making down bottom. None of them actually died, so except for Puppey, of course, from that initial Kunkka boat. It's 9k advantage, and Ame has he's got no space, and he's got no space to farm anywhere.
He is doing a good job of that farming these familiars. We've seen a fair few familiars go down to this Luna, as we're seeing just good sort of use with the Lucent Beam to mess up the stun and make sure you can get those right clicks in. Proving to be quite a good method of taking down those familiars and getting that free and easy gold for the Luna, which Arme desperately needs.
FY almost like has to do this, and mid one's trying to go for a stun from the fog here.
Heals first. Strike down with silence from Nisha, no response. The boat comes crashing out from Maybe, but not nearly enough damage to do anything about mid one. As mid one charges forward, a Decrepify will be there onto the Kunkka, will not save him though. As mid one's Laguna Blade comes flying through, zaps down Maybe. And now the mid lane is open for more abuse from Secret as they shove down, take a tier 2, 17 minutes in.
And they're going to keep going. The inevitable push that we've been talking about non-stop. All right, Chalice, can he hold? Can he be he's the only one with the deep push.
There's
can he do it? I don't think he
seconds.
can.
As 17 minutes in, Secret seriously threatening the high ground of PSG.LGD, a tier 3 to fall. Xnova cannot get anywhere close enough to start to do anything himself about this one. As the range racks go down, the melee racks as well, 17 minutes in.
That is the exact same repeat as the last game, but even faster. Ame's trying to push the tier 1 top. You can see Chalice is trying to walk up and get those blasts down, but the buildings are just dying far too fast.
Ghost as well. Catches out FY. Torrent will miss. Nisha's able to step to the side. But to the 2 sets of racks taken. The Winter's Curse as well from Yapsel gets 4.
And the combo.
The 3-man Light Strike Array. PSG.LGD just getting absolutely walked over by Secret. Not just in this game, but this series as a whole. As we said, in terms of sort of a bad game, it's been a long time since we had LGD had such a bad one in game 1. But in terms of a bad series, it's been a long, long time. As Secret, they're making this look like a walk in the park. GG is called.
Wow.
Secret versus LGD ending in a 2-0 Team Secret's way. And it didn't look like PSG.LGD put up a fight whatsoever.
Nice. Flawless execution by Secret from start to finish of this series. They gave up, I mean, it was 4 kills, right? I think LGD only had 4 at the end there. And I think 2 of them were Puppy, or 3 of them were maybe even Puppy. It was just a remarkable performance and a beautiful draft coming out from Puppy.
The draft, the fact that Secret got what they got for it, you know, it's something, and they showed you how strong it is when you get this sort of lineup.
I think it just felt so hard for me from LGD from the opening too, like the Nyx Bane, the panel mentioned it. You put yourself in a position where your 4 and your 5 have no wave clear, and then you have to make up for it on your core heroes, and then that means they're always showing, so who's going to be all the playmakers? It seemed really hard, and it seemed like Secret just took advantage of the draft perfectly.
No doubt about that whatsoever. A fantastic victory here for Secret on the main stage here, the PvP Esports Championship, coming to you live from Singapore as a 2-0 victory from LGD. That's going to propel them forward towards tomorrow's grand final.
From Secret, right?
From Secret.
Yeah.
And again, LGD, I don't know. Words, they fail me. But 2-0 for Team Secret. I don't think anyone would have expected that result at all. Maybe the result, you know, some Secret fans out there, but if you said both games were going to be pretty much 20-minute stomps.
Less than 20 minutes.
Less than 20 minutes.
Ended before 20 minutes, I think, both of them.
They were some of the quicker games we have seen here at this LAN, and this LAN has had sort of a variety of teams at different skill levels. Secret and LGD, they're not 2 teams that you would say, oh yeah, vastly different sort of levels of play. This is a level playing ground. Secret did not make that series look close.
No, they didn't give him any breathing room whatsoever. And yesterday, we were I don't know when to say we were harsh, but we were like, Puppy had a weird draft today.
He had a very
not a weird draft.
Not at all. Not at all. There was nothing about this draft that sort of raised any questions. The panel said it themselves. They were like, this is going to work. And there's nothing that PSG.LGD can really do in terms of an answer. We sort of gave them PSG.LGD the benefit of the doubt. We're like, you know, this team came second at TI. Maybe their draft doesn't make sense, but maybe they've got something to do in terms of play. They didn't.
Nope.
They did not at all, ladies and gentlemen. Secret take the series 2-0, and we'll move on to the grand finals tomorrow. But for now, we'll pass you back to Shiva and the panel.
Thank you so much indeed. A sub 20-minute game here in the second game of the semifinals. That was very one-sided. Not as one-sided as I was expecting the series to go, but it turns out that Team Secret is just at the moment too strong for PSG.LGD, who fall short here and come 3rd and 4th here at the PvP Esports Championship. Here to talk about that second game together with Grant and Kyle. Kyle, we knew this was going to happen. I feel like I'm saying the same things because it's been a couple of games where the game has been decided at the draft. And I kind of want to focus on that because today's series were all like that.
Yeah, that's the patch. I mean, it's kind of just the way Dota is right now, where the viability of a lot of heroes are viable. A lot of them are really strong, and you have specific ways to deal with them. And if you can't, they're going to do what they do, and they're going to take you to victory. And this was a Drow lineup. I mean, it's the best strategy there is right now, and LGD didn't have an answer.
It's amazing how, like, it feels like a lot of these drafts will fall behind in the first like 1 or 2 pickups, and then they just struggle to try and get back into it, but it still doesn't seem to matter. For here, we felt like the support duo of PSG.LGD just wasn't really going to match up well against the Drow Ranger lineup that was naturally going to just like snowball as this 5-man. There was that earlier where like the trap cards that happened in the draft where we saw, what was it, PSG.LGD went for the Weaver leaving IO Wisp, and then they second picked the Morphling. It felt like in that game they were just struggling to try and get back into it as well. It seems like you have to just be really on point with your drafting. It feels like you can't really have any bad picks at all.
I mean, I don't want to say Secret just played amazingly, but to me it feels like PSG.LGD kind of phoned it in. I mean, you open with a Bane Nyx. They have to know it just doesn't work, right? Like, if we all know it doesn't work, I'm sure they know no wave clear at all. You have a Luna who can farm and wave clear, but that puts her in danger. It just felt like maybe they're waiting for the new patch just like everyone else.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
It was a massacre. Like, I mean, we said exactly how it was going to go. It was like, there's almost no way they lose this game unless, you know, Zai blacks out or something.
Yeah, it just feels like Secret could just casually, like, farm the map faster than LGD, and when they wandered into the vicinity, they could target some heroes. Whereas LGD, they're under pressure to find hero kills the entire game, and you just can't win games of Dota nowadays. Like, people have learned, like, nah, we'll just sit in 3 lanes, we'll group up for objectives, and, you know, have fun. But
I feel like one of the worst things is watching the fact that even the Drow Ranger lane was doing well because they picked up that Undying, which was so strong against what PSG.LGD was going to run as their dual lane.
I mean, you saw that the very first clip they showed there, the Luna ults and then dies in 2 seconds. Like the very first Luna ult that you think you're going to take over, you're going to get a tier 1 tower, instantly dies, and now you have this long ulti cooldown. You're not a hero anymore for like 2 minutes.
A day full of 2-0s. Tomorrow, that's not possible, by the way, because it is a best of 5 between Fnatic and Team Secret. It is, of course, the matchup that we started the main event with yesterday. And it is also the matchup that we will close out the day with tomorrow. Grand Finals, Fnatic, Team Secret. Is it a surprise that we see these two here? I mean, I kind of was expecting...
A teeny bit.
I kind of was expecting PSG.LGD to be in there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a teeny bit, but, I mean, Secret, they showed up. I mean, that one game, we keep going back to it, you know, the whole Bat Rider game, that's pretty much gone now. I think it's going to be even footing, and if we're going in this, I think Secret probably is a reasonably heavy favorite if they play like this. You don't think so?
It's hard because, as Sheev said, like, all 4 of the games today were out drafts. Yeah. And everyone looks good with a better draft. I look good with a better draft. Because the game, if you envisioned, you know, every team starts at the start of a maze, and in the center is the finish line, aka victory. Sometimes you just, you know, it's a straight line. Sometimes it's complicated. You can't really judge a team off of them just casually taking the Stairmaster all the way to
Well, you
win.
can.
So wait, now there's stairs in this maze?
Look,
I don't
man,
know what
it's
kind of
late.
mazes
I lost
he's
track
playing.
of that analogy. I was going to go back to like Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter. Like, not everybody gets mad at it. It's too complicated.
No, I love that.
Really, that
Keep
analogy was the
going.
true maze. We kept on hitting like these various roadblocks and having to backtrack our way back again. I don't know.
No, I think for me tomorrow, I think it's going to be the mid matchup. I think if you let Abed win middle every single game, then Fnatic honestly probably could just 3-0 them, but they're not going to let that happen.
And
I
it
think
is
it's the
pretty
X factor.
exciting. You get Abed mid 1, both
Yeah.
superstars coming from the Southeast Asian region going up against each other.
Yeah.
Really very
I
hype.
agree. I'm actually super excited.
Before we get into that hype, though, we are going to watch Arena of Valor tomorrow morning. That's what it's going to start with here on this stream in this venue. Doors open at 10 a.m. Stream is live with the broadcast at 10:30, so make sure you tune in. First, it's going to be Arena of Valor, and after that, we're going to finish out with Fnatic versus Team Secret here for the Dota 2 PvP Esports Championship 2018. I wish you all a good night, and see you tomorrow.
Don't let the leg monster stand in the way of you and your games. Defeat it.